So next I thought I'd talk about my favorite NBA team, which all of you know, as you can tell right here and through the videos I've made, is the Dallas Mavericks. And this is probably the team that really I jumped on board the last of all the teams that I like. Um, Most of the reason was when I was younger, I wasn't a basketball fan. Now, watching basketball, I've always played basketball. Basketball is probably one of my favorite sports to play. I mean, I played it, when I was younger, all the way up to my senior year of high school, and still today, I'll go out and shoot some hoops and play at intramurals here at Texas. So basketball has always been a part of my life, but I never enjoyed watching it, especially NBA. I don't know what it was. I just never got into it when I was younger. So yeah, I did kind of miss the Michael Jordan craze. Now, yeah, I watched a couple of Jordan games, and whenever we visit someone's house and they had the game on, I get to watch it, and I actually got to see one of the clinching games. I don't even know who they played though, but one of their clinching finals games when they won. So basketball really was a big deal for me. But when I got a little bit older, I kind of started watching them more. I want to be a little more interested. Now, as I said before, I'm in the Dallas market, so I got all the Mavericks stuff. But really, here in Texas, as y'all know, I'm a very Texas-based guy. So I've got three choices here. I can go Rockets, Spurs, or Mavericks. Now, the Rockets had gotten two back-to-back titles in the early 90s. And the Spurs were coming along, and I think they'd won one so far, and they were building their dynasty. But I really couldn't connect with those two teams. One, I just didn't like the Houston Rockets. I'm not a big Houston fan. And because they had the Oilers at the time, I felt since I was a Cowboys fan, I didn't need to support a team from Houston. And then with the Spurs, and I remember when they beat the Nets, and I was very neutral, didn't care. I think it was the Nets, whenever they won their first title. I remember they won it, and I didn't really care. I was like, oh, okay, well, Spurs win, I guess, and I really wasn't that excited, could care less. But when I was, so if you asked when I was younger, I would always tell you that, yeah, I guess I was a Mavericks fan, but I didn't watch them. But I did start watching them when I got a little older, and Michael Finley was always my favorite, and he was always Mr. Maverick to me. And so when I started getting older, started watching, then you got Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, and those guys, and really started following them ever since. And, back to when we just make the playoffs and started being competitive again, and then get knocked out by Sacramento. It seemed like every year we go back and forth with them. So yeah, and I gotta say, my first basketball game though that I went to, NBA game that I went to, wasn't until 2006 in the playoffs. And this actually is the shirt that I got at the game. I went to Game 1 against the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference Finals in 2006. We ended up losing the game on last-second shot. Most of that due to Van Horn shooting like 8 threes at the end and making one. Really cut down our possessions and let them come back in the game. Still mad about that. We won the series, though. So I remember being really excited about the Mavs, able to get through there. And I got to go to a Western Conference Finals game, even though we lost. And I remember, watching those playoffs. It felt like it was the greatest basketball season of all time, because you watch this team for over 10 years, and they finally get there. And, the Longhorns had just won the national title in college football. So I'm thinking, man, I'm going to get 2 titles in 1 year, college football championship and the NBA trophy. We went into that Miami Heat series in the finals, and we just destroyed them in Game 1 and Game 2. It was over for me. I thought we had this. I remember I was in Morgantown, West Virginia on a mission trip with my church. We were at West Virginia University, all of us watching the game. We're all Mavericks fans. Henderson is pretty much dominated by Mavericks fans. And we're just having a blast. And then it just fell apart, And after Game 3, when we lost, we had a 12-point lead with like 5 minutes left. And then Dirk missed some free throws. And then Wade came alive. We didn't have a shot from then on. And yeah, there's some very questionable calls. And I'm still mad about this series. I remember one game ended with Wade shooting free throws. And he made both of them and won the game. You look back, no one touched him. He still got a call. So I'm very bitter about that series. But Dwayne Wade was amazing, and he got the title. And then the year after that, when we had our best record in the league, our best record in franchise history, and then get knocked out by our enemies, the Golden State Warriors, that just killed me, And so this team has brought a lot of heartbreak, sports-wise, to me, to see us really get to that pinnacle, to get to the top, but not finish it, and then the next year look like we're going to steamroll through it. And I do have a lot of confidence that we would have won the title that year. Just Golden State had our number. We didn't beat them all regular season, and we couldn't do it in a 7-game series. But this has always been my team. You know, I've never had any kind of feelings towards the Spurs or the Rockets, wanting to cheer for them. And now that I've become even a hardcore Dallas fan, I can't stand the Spurs or the Rockets. And it's really been built a rivalry. So that's kind of why I've been cheering for them. Another one of the main things, and I think what really drove me to being a Dallas Mavericks fan, is because of that DAL you see on the scoreboard. As all know, I'm a Cowboys fan my entire life, and whenever you see the scoreboard, DAL for Dallas. And it always felt weird to me that even in a different sport, to cheer against that DAL. That's all I define myself as a sports fan by those 3 letters. And that's whenever you watch a Mavericks game, that's what you see. And I just couldn't see myself ever cheering against that or yelling Dallas sucks. I remember when I went to the Spurs games here in the playoffs to watch the Mavs. When we left after game 2, after getting blown out, I kept hearing all these Spurs fans yell, Dallas sucks, Dallas sucks. And all I could think of is, are you guys Philadelphia Eagles fans? And I know they're not. And I know that they're only single-mindedly thinking about basketball. But as y'all know, I come into this as a football fan, being a basketball fan. So I feel like I could never bring myself to do that. And I know that's really stupid, kind of picky, but that's really one of the main reasons that I've cheered for the Mavs. The Cowboys are based in Dallas, the Rangers are based in Dallas, and the Mavericks are based in Dallas. So I'm not from Dallas. I live about 2.5 hours away from it, but I visit there quite a bit. So that just seemed like the logical choice. Do I ever wish that I was a Spurs fan or a Rockets fan and actually have some titles to speak of? No, because I don't think you need to define why you like a team by their success they've had in the history. I like a team based on the fact that, you know, they represent the state or represent an area that I seem to cheer for. And so, yeah, if I was a Houston Oilers fan back in the day, I would be a Houston Rockets fan today. But, you know, that's how it works. I like to keep a little commonality between my teams, as y'all know. So that's the reason I like the Dallas Mavericks. Cheered for them for, you know, ever since I've been watching basketball, they've been my team. Hadn't watched basketball my whole life, but as y'all can tell by the videos I make and stuff, though I'm kind of iffy on the stats and stuff a lot of times, it's something I'm very passionate about, and I love the guys. So, team number 2 on this list, on this road of videos, Dallas Mavericks, my NBA team. Hopefully we can do something this offseason to make ourselves a little bit better, maybe a lot better.